lovely to meet all of you. Let's get started into the good stuff. I have an appreciation for starting with the basics. So we're gonna start literally from the ground up. Because ladies, well, fucking feet are the first most important thing that is gonna translate to your fighting. Your stance is gonna impact your footwork, which is gonna impact your power generation. So if we all just stand up so you can follow with me. I'm gonna break this down from the very beginning. And also if it starts to miss too heavily, we can go inside. Y'all just holler at me. Alright, so first things first, you want to have a comfortable base. Feel it out in your body. Roughly shoulder width apart, right? Second, if you could call me up, I can look at you and aim at you. Typically speaking, when you're fighting, you're going to want to have one of your legs leading forward, alright? You're going to want this leg to roughly be aiming at the center line of your opponent, and you're going to want this back leg over Mia to be off at a 45 angle. Reason being, if you are flat-footed in either plane, you're not going to have balance and you're not going to be able to generate power, and it's going to fuck with your movement. Alright? So, as humans, we are also bipeds. What this means is that we have two strong and two weak sides of our movement. So, if you could just get into your proper stance with a foot forward, your sword foot forward.
Sword foot forward, right-handed.
Yeah.
If you're left-handed, please just mirror everything that we do. So,
all right. So, just quick explanation. If she's standing like this, we're going to have a line intersecting her feet. On these planes, when you're engaging your opponent, this is your strong side. So typically speaking, I'm going to want to be engaging right here where there's this other plane. This is that weak side. Just some basics. All right. Next, your knees. Knees have one purpose in combat. Girls, this is how you change your levels. When you're trying to throw those lower shots, you do not take your torso, you do not lean forward, you don't lean back, obviously. If you're trying to change your levels, drop into your knees. Up and down.
straight down. You want to stick your butt out.
Also, never fight with locked knees. I feel like it's kind of obvious, but I want everyone to be on the same level here. All right, cool. Moving on. Your waist similarly has one purpose. This is how you're gonna adjust your angles. Also be mindful that you want to keep your weight, your torso over your legs. Because again, that balance. Not to mention, if you're down here, we're usually shorter than most of our opponents. You're just giving them back all day. Don't fucking do it. Drop into your true stance. And this is how you change your angles. Levels, angles. Cool, cool. Now, I like to teach your hips and your shoulders at one. But first of all, I got a gripe. I got to get off my shoulders. Who here has been told that you need to fight with your hips as a female fighter? All right, I'm gonna say this is fucking bullshit because everyone needs to use their fucking hips. I shit you not. Like, I fucking started and they were like, girls need to fight with their hips. They never explained what this meant, but they were like, no, girls need to fight with their hips. All right, just throwing it out there. What this means, for those who don't understand, if I'm in stance, my hips are plain, that means my hands are fucking like equidistant. What we're gonna wanna do is draw this primary hip back. We're pulling it back. Pretend that there's like a string or a rope pulling this primary hip back. And as you can see, your shoulder follows it. If you have questions, please ask. You look confused and I got you, girl.
No, primary hip, so
your lead leg.
lead
So
leg.
whichever leg, if you're in forward.
I'm not like flexing this the whole time. Like,
No. This is when you wind up to throw that shot. This is your power generation. Your feet are your movement and your stance. You got your knees level.
So
No, please.
the
ask.
balls under your feet are what's balancing you here in
Yeah.
the back, right?
Actually, so for me, I like to be flat-footed on my leading leg, and I come onto the balls on my back leg. But always feel comfortable for what's you. But we're going to be drawing this hip back, okay, and releasing it
Oh, it's
as
like
one.
kickboxing then, right?
Yeah.
Girl, yeah, it's like throwing a punch. If you've done that,
Okay.
learn.
So when you get in your stance, what might help is if you have both your arms straight out and you want to move whichever, so I'm right-handed when I hold a sword, whichever hand that you're attacking with, move that back. And you want to make sure that your shoulder and your hip move at the same time.
Now, if if you have your sword near you, I just want you real quickly to feel the difference. So, you all in proper stance, sword foot forward. We're going to be drawing that hip. No, first, just use your shoulder. I want you to feel the difference. As hard as you can, just swing, just your shoulder. All right? Now, cock that fucking hip back. Release. This is where we're going to be generating our power. Any questions? There's nothing wrong with asking, girls.
Okay, well, we're probably gonna get to this in a minute.
No, I got you, yeah.
There's that rap about, and I have no fucking
No,
idea what you mean
shot.
about
We're gonna go, we're starting from the ground up. We will get to the shots. I got you.
that. So it's like this.
So yeah, first, just feel the difference. This is just so that you understand the difference. This is not a shot. Doesn't matter what you're doing with your wacky bat. Just, I want you to understand that when you're using your hip, and you use your shoulder, this is where you're gonna get the majority of your power. As one. As one. Cool. You just fucking punching this shit. Cool. Like I said, just wanted you to feel it. Because when it clicked for me, I was like, oh, that's what they're fucking talking about. That's that hip movement.
That's been that hip movement the whole time.
That's it, dude. It's fucking, that's it. Literally. When they say women use their hips, that's it. And everyone uses that.
So
Okay, I will say, yes.
I will say that it is easier for women to do than men. Men actually have to train harder to do that same hip movement.
That's absolutely a fair point. And something else is that typically, because we're fighting male opponents, they often are bigger than us, and they don't have to use proper body mechanics to maybe get the same level of submission force that we do. So it's more important for us to have good technique. But there's no difference mentioned using their fucking hips. That's all. Just throwing it out there into the universe.
They don't know. They just know you're fine.
All right, cool. So if there's no further questions, moving on. Footwork. All right, there's honestly, it's not that complicated. There are two things to keep in mind. One of the movements you do every fucking day, the full step. One leg is planted as the other one transitions. All right, the other one is the stutter step and the step and drag. This is where your leading leg moves and that back leg follows. Can anyone tell me maybe why there might be an advantage to doing full steps or stutter steps? Trying to get your brains going?
Stutter steps. Being able to get off of the middle line and break off without like
Breaking
having
angles.
to do it in like a slower progression. You can do it faster as well as find that angle better.
Absolutely.
And then exactly what she said.
A ditto?
Yeah, it lets you move without crossing your legs.
Yeah, no, never cross your legs in movement. Just don't do it. This is just stupid. You got no balance. You got no power. What you doing? Anything else?
Full step will shift your side, so when you take a full step, you're now
Yes,
tilted forward.
thank
and
you.
your sword is back,
Absolutely.
which puts you further away from your target, which means you now have to take 2 full steps to get back into stance.
Exactly. Sword foot forward, shield foot forward. You cover more distance when you're taking full steps, but when you're doing those stutter steps, you are harder to get unbalanced, but you don't get as much movement in there. All right, cool, awesome. Now, just a quick drill I want to go over with you guys. It is the star drill. Just take this home for your viewing pleasure. All right. So, you haven't asked yourself today? All right, so essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving forward and backwards using stutter steps along an imaginary asterisk. And this is because we're going to want to practice getting off at those off angles. Things to be mindful of in this movement is that we do not want this back leg to suddenly start drifting onto the same line. So we want to keep good stance throughout all of these movements. So, going north, whichever direction you're going in, the foot closest to it, that's the one we're going to move first. So, you take that step, back leg follows. Now, we're trying to go back to the center. This back leg moves, front follows. Off at this angle, we're going to go in that direction, your foot can move, and follow. Now, things to be mindful of when you're going side. We are not shuffling side to side because that's bad stance. So, we're going to move and still maintain. Yeah, exactly. Now, when we're trying to go up a soft angle, this is going to be really important for disengaging opponents. We do not cross our legs, so this lead leg is going to swivel your hips, and now you have your left foot forward. left foot, forward. Now, going back, let's look closest to that direction. And similar to this back corner right here, we do not cross our legs, so we're going to have our left leg lead and follow. And again, do not sidestep. And similarly, we're not crossing our legs, so this leg has to go forward, taking that full step, and follow. Alright, so I'm going to do this a couple times. You can follow me and then take this home. I understand it's a little confusing to me at first, but what's going to be really important is when you're fighting your enemy, you're going to be able to engage at those off angles. If I haven't said this before, I'm going to say it now. When I'm fighting someone, it is not advantageous to you to approach them head on. Hello, friend. What we're going to be wanting to do is, like I said, you want to roughly like square off the opponent while you're facing them, but when you engage, you're going to want to attack them when you're at these off angles. Alright, so I'm going to do this there. You can go and see people have questions. But yeah, going forward on this asterisk and back. Off of this corner. Back. Side. Hit it back. Back. Hit it again. Side. Hit it forward. Forward. Hit it. Just feel comfortable.
You guys have enough room?
So you get comfortable going at like 45 degrees.
Something that might help is this diagram right here. So it's straightforward, angle, like you're following the asterisk. Like
Oh, okay.
Okay, alright, so the next thing we're going to cover is a basic card, because if you get killed, you can't fucking do shit. You ain't going to learn. So, typically speaking, the most important part of this card is you're going to want to make sure that your shoulders is covered. It's easy to, like, when you're getting off the combat and stuff, to have it kind of drift down. Don't do that. Always be mindful of covering that top shoulder. Also, you want to make sure that you don't leave a wide gap over here. Do not open this door because you're going to get hit in the gut. So typically speaking, you're going to want to have your shield near you, angled, covering that top shoulder. Another thing to be mindful of is when you're blocking shield side shots, you are not extending this elbow to block those shots. You are pivoting your torso to block them shots, or using your foot to get the fuck out. Got it. Alright? Damn it! We're gonna give it a second, and if not, we're gonna put them back inside. Alright. For your sword, you're gonna want to block sword side shots. There's a fucking pavilion.
A little one.
You know what?
enough for this.
You look tiny.
I appreciate your optimism. Okay. It's okay. We'll tough it out.
Okay, good.
All right.
Strong.
We are
You got
warriors.
this.
We got this. Okay. I know it sucks, but we fucking got this. It's gonna be all right.
All right, so again, we're doing the thing.
All right. So yes.
Yes.
So now we're gonna block sword side shots with your sword. That doesn't mean that you were actively blocking all these things, but you were denying angles with your weapon. Well, typically speaking, we do not want to post up our weapon straight to the sky. We're going to want to have it angled towards your opponent, roughly like a 45. You also want to be mindful of opening up this gap. You want your weapon to be close to your shield, because if you leave that gap, someone is going to fucking 45 snipe that on. See that? All right. So be mindful of keep this closer to your shield. Exactly, because if not, someone's going to snipe right up in the Yeah, you don't want to leave a gap for them to attack. If you got questions, I got you. Alright, so shield, sword. Something to be mindful of that I noticed in Amcard is that people throw a lot of those dark side shots and they get under this high guard. So what I say to do, it's kind of like a good start. Don't stand there all day, but you're going to drop your elbow into your hip and you're going to lower that guard. You don't need to like keep it fucking glued there all day, but this just so you understand. You lower your guard, and that denies that angle for them to get that money shot. Yeah,
Are you usually sword forward?
yes, I usually am sword forward because I got little T-Rex arms. And I like to. No, it's true. So I like to deny that angle even further. Like, it's just, man, those 3 inches mean a lot to me.
Stupid question.
No, there's no stupid questions.
there.
No, not here. But continue.
What's the sword?
You know what? I will explain this to you afterwards.
Holding, I've heard a lot of people say, hey, you want to be careful about how you're holding so you can get the best grip for
Absolutely
when
no.
you're hitting
We were
at
going to
it.
cover grips in just a second, actually. So you are a perfect tangent. Thank you, friend. Any questions on guard real quick? No? Not cool. Yeah, good. Just to be mindful of any time you do throw a strike, you want to come back to your guard, so get comfortable with your guard. Don't get lazy with it.
Is there a drill that you can practice? I know this sounds stupid.
No,
like,
it's not. No, stop it. I love you.
Sorry, I can't help it. Anyway, so like, I have like these noodles. So for endurance, is there a type of exercise that like you can do for like getting into this, as opposed to like, hey, every time I go to an event and just get my ass handed to me?
You know what? Honestly, just stand around with a good guard. Like, you have to practice it. It's something that you feel out of the time.
How?
You can just watch some Netflix and just do your little drills with your sword and your shield.
Huh?
Yeah, the pole.
That's how?
Ooh, we're gonna discuss pills afterward. That's a really good point.
I have a pole, and I practice all of this on that.
I have an apartment with 3 cats.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Practice on your cats.
Put a feather on the end of your sword and go slow motion.
So there's also to be mindful of, depending on your gear, your guard is going to be different. Because I have a low round strap, I don't have to work as hard to cover my top shoulder, but I have to be way more active with shots that come at my lower quadrant. For shots that come at your leg, honestly, you just gotta not be there. You gotta just move the hell out of the way. Do not ever drop and try to block those shots. Just move your legs. Even if you flamingo leg that. Someone's coming at your dominant leg, just scoop that. Just practice that. Shit you not. I'm telling you, that's fucking work. Alright. There, I know that she uses a punch shield, which is different from what I use. Anything you can tell us about the guard that might be different?
So, compared to a strap shield, there's not much different with the guard. A lot of times with a punch shield, you tend to start lowering your guard because it is not strapped to your arm, and you're really only dedicating your hand and your wrist to your shield. So a lot of times you're going to be fighting.
You just get tired,
What's going on? And that's a really like considerable when you're like have a lot of like pole arms coming at you, because you want to drop your shield a lot. So the best thing I can tell you for your basic guard, if you're using a punch shield, is to just act like you're holding your tummy. And I think that's the same for any kind of shield. Act like you're holding your tummy. So a lot of times I'm like standing in front of a mirror, or I'm sparring with my boyfriend or fiance, which sometimes I hate, but whatever. But I always try and act like it's an open and closed door. So like out, in. If I'm doing it out, in, lower, out, in, higher, then I know I'm destabilized or unstabilized. So.
And the only thing I might add to that is, if you do use a punch shield, what that means is you're also going to be able to deny angles further out from your body. So it's just something cool. And throw some different shots if you got a punch. That's not what I do. I settle for more defense.
Yeah.
'Cause I got shitty arms.
Yeah, punch shields, you can pivot a lot more, like you said, deny angles, and you can have a little more control with the space. So you can be out in space here, but as a beginner's class, you always want to move with your shield, whether it's punch, center strap, low strap. You just want to move with your shield as a fundamental thing to do as a basic.
Cool. And before we get into grips and stuff, I just want to cover ranges real quick. Oh yes, I'm sorry, friend.
I was just going to add, if you have a center strap shield like I do, the trick that was taught to me is act like you're grabbing your collar of your shirt, and that'll always keep your shield where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. If you got low strap, you grab the belt. Thank you. I appreciate your input, buddy. So something just I want to cover ranges is you have to learn your range, because every one of us here has a different body size. I cannot teach you what your specific range is. You're going to have to discover it. But things to be mindful of, where you grab your weapon changes your range, and often because we are fighting larger opponents, there's going to be a range disparity, which means, I don't know if someone, hey girl, hey, what's up, what's up?
I'm not.
Which means, typically speaking, she is going to be able to hit me before I can hit her, just because she has longer arms. It's just, that's fucking life, man. Look, now, get out. So, what we want to do is we want to be mindful of our range and stay out of range until we engage our opponent. And when we get into that close range, we want to be very active in what we're doing. If you get into this close range, don't fucking do here. Try to play or back out. Because usually someone's going to be able to just manipulate this. Something also with range because of that range disparity, we often, sometimes for me, kind of get stuck in that I am fencing someone and without realizing it, they're pushing me into their comfort zone. So don't just stand there kind of like trying to make a plan of attack. Just be moving and be mindful of their range. 'Cause, you know, you get killed, you can't rank shield. All right, any questions? No, you have questions?
Yes.
Please.
So,
I'll follow you full service. Go. Thank you.
okay, when you're trying to learn how to hold the move,
Yeah.
they kind of have like this weird
Absolutely. Something to be mindful of is like, thank you for bringing it up. This is a good guard to start in, but a lot of people, if they just see you just posted here without moving, they're going to just slap this shit right out of your hand. Oh no! And then, but yeah, that shit happens. So what you want to do is just, this is a good guard to return to, but move around. Don't let them kind of get in there. Just be mindful of that. But thank you. That was a great point. All right, cool. Moving on, we're going to talk about grips. Just real quick. First, just be comfortable. You have to get comfortable with holding your weapon. Things to be mindful of this, though, is never hold your thumb straight up on your weapon. This is how you get hurt. Because if someone, you go to block a shot, it's going to hyperextend if it pushes back against that. So you usually typically have it to the side of your weapon. Also, where you hold your sword affects your range and affects kind of like a comfortable grip. I sometimes switch up between choking up, which is sometimes called a saber grip. You have more stability up here, especially for stabs, but you have more range if you kind of linger near the pommel. Feels what's good for you. Also, don't be clenching your weapon the whole time because you're going to tire your hand out. You want to just, at the point of impact, squeeze for that pop. Otherwise, you loosey-goosey. Yes? Modified saber is so to the side. Do not have it straight up and back behind it. It's to the, do not have it up and down. Do not thumb up people with your weapon. To the side. Yeah, you got it, girl.
I actually sprained my thumb like that as a brand new person.
Oh, honey.
Their sword slid up mine, caught my thumb, and bent it back to my wrist.
Well, I'm glad that you are an example for us, but I'm sorry to hear that. All right, cool. Any questions? We're gonna move on to some basic shots. Y'all ready? All right, cool. All right, now we've got all the other important shit out of the way. There. So I'm going to start righty on righty with a couple basic shield side shots. First one, super simple. It's that shoulder chop. When she starts getting lower, yeah. So first, just before I do any of this, all of these shots are going to be more effective when we implement footwork. So I'm going to show you what those shots are, but don't expect you're just going to stand there and land any of this. You're going to want to put yourself in a position, move off this one, this one. Yeah, cool. But yeah, all right. Chop. Your arm comes down. If you are maybe newer to fighting and not as experienced and you feel like you're going to hit someone in the head, it's okay to angle your sword out for that chop while you get comfortable and work your way up. We're aiming for that top head. Next is the flat wrap. The difference here is it looks like a chop, but our elbow is going to pop up, and the whole purpose of this shot is, especially that foot, we're going to be able to get that back of the knee more often. So, shoulder chop, flat wrap. Cool? Alright. Next, we're going to teach the hip scoop. This is taught to me using your elbow. Some people do it with their wrist, but for me, I've got very weak wrists and I would not recommend doing that. It really hyperextends it. You can hurt yourself. So, what this shot, we're going to typically be aiming for this lower quadrant where there's less shield in the way. You're going to throw that shot, and the elbow is going to come up, and you're hitting with the false edge of your weapon. You guys have bats, that don't fucking matter. You're going to hit with wherever. But for me with my blade, throwing that shot, and elbow comes up. Do not just use your wrist. Any questions so far?
Can you do that one more time? I know.
No, girl, no, go. Absolutely. When we're throwing that wrap, the shot comes out, and when you're kind of like almost at your full thumb, you pop your elbow up, and it turns over. So you kind of like you're punching at this lower quadrant, and your elbow comes up. And maybe you can use a little bit of your wrist, as I do, but I don't do it primarily with my wrist. Right. Now the cousin to this is what I don't want you to. Yeah, just don't hurt yourself. Is this kind of typically we're not going to be able to land this if people are fucking up there somewhere, but it's a good shot to learn, especially against legged opponents, and it's pretty much the cousin of that wrap. We're going to throw that shot and come all the way over. That stack hook. It gets over that shield. All right. Now, I want you guys to get comfortable with that. So, find a buddy and just practice that. I'm going to go around real quick. Okay? Find a friend. Find a friend. You got this. You guys are adulty adults. So next, I'm going to be showing righty versus righty, typically, some shots that are aimed at this sword side quadrant. Man, just like you're smart. Thanks, girl. Come down here. So the first one is going to be a very safe return. This is a good opener. Yeah? It's the flat cross, not to be confused with the high cross where you're opening up yourself and exposing all that delicious meat. Don't do that. We're going to be wanting to throw that flat cross. And typically speaking, we're going to be taking that step and trying to get the outside of that arm or that upper shoulder quadrant. It's just what it looks like. All right? Next, it's the 45. It's a 45 chop. So remember when I said to keep your guard close? This is that shot because when there's this gap, all you got to do, come down at that 45-degree angle and it's going to destroy your beautiful exposed meat. All right. Next, pocket stab, which is my fucking favorite. It's so good, guys. It's so good. All right, so all we're going to be doing for this is we're going to take your thumb down so that you are not aiming at your opponent's face, and you're going to slide it into this delicious top shoulder meat. You are not going to be extending to reach that shot. It works best when you take that step. So if I'm in sword for forward, in this particular case, I'm going to be wanting to go towards your sword side, taking that full step, and it kind of just glides right in there. It's real nice. Be mindful, like I said, if you were throwing this shot with your sword up, you're going to land, it's going to like glance off the top of the shoulder, or in the worst case, it's going to slide into this beautiful bitch's face. So we don't want that. I know money. All right, so next, I've heard it called a moneymaker recently, but I've known it as the dark side. It's another one of those elbow tricks. All right, so what we're going to want to do is the elbow now turns down. We're like, as Bear says,
Flip the pancake.
it's cute as shit. So what we're going to want to be doing is you're almost throwing that flat cross, and your elbow comes down, and you're going to end up with your palm facing upward. So elbow comes down, and you're getting into this open gap on your shield. And again, it works best if you take a step, or if you even take a step towards your shield and lower yourself. That also is effective. But yeah. Shield not in the way. From here to there. Elbow down. It's probably the most confusing of the shots today, and that's okay. Any questions?
How do you block that?
We've mentioned it earlier, but absolutely. Yes, you put your elbow on your hip, or you bring your pommel down to your leg. You're denying that angle. Now I can't fucking hit her. All right, and before we move on, that final leg, because we're short, we are so fucking close to these legs. We should hit them. I mean, it not only makes your opponent slower depending on the game you're playing, but in games like I play, sometimes they got to drop down to a knee, so now they're our sides. You know, you're leveling the playing field. So two shots to throw that I like is obviously just that outside chop, but something to be mindful of is when you are throwing this shot, I am open. So what I've been taught recently, and it's been working for me better, is to come and scoop the other direction. So it's a disengaging shot, and it's really good as you take that shot and step back and post. You take that lower shot. Woo, good girl.
That's nice. It looks pretty too, like what?
Yeah.
I feel like I look cool. All right.
What, your legs are not there anymore.
All right, so I want you guys to pair up again. We're going to be doing, like I said, the flat cross. We're going to be doing that delicious pocket stab, that 45. And that money maker, and if you want to feel fancy, throw in that leg shot or the outside, but you know, you can be punished for it. Do it, but be warned. If I do that, I gotta move. All right, pair up my beautiful friends, and I will walk around for questions. So ultimately, I think it's important to end this class with kind of a little discussion on some problems that we might encounter more often than not, be that on the field or off. So by all means, if you have one of those, ask it here, and this is for all of us to engage with each other. I'm gonna holler at you with some of my experiences, but this is really for all of us. So. First things first. Anyone have any questions to start with? If not, I'm just going to
People who use excessive force.
Oh my
That
god.
sounded like a Bully's commercial.
I've absolutely encountered people who, usually men, who feel like you don't belong on that field and they're trying to like roughhouse with you. Honestly, that shit's bullshit. Like, I know we're all playing a game and we're all here on the same fucking terms, but it's not okay to come at you excessively. What I recommend is we need to be vocal about it. Like, I know for me, for a long time, it was a struggle to do that because I felt like I'm being soft. Like, I don't have the permission to be like, hey, what you're doing is not safe. And I'm not saying that because I'm a girl fighter. I'm saying that because you're being a dick. Yeah. You know, like, it's the truth. Some people are just dicks. And I found that most people are pretty chill out there, but you're going to come across the one asshole who's got a fucking, some ego on his fucking shoulder to get out there and take out on you. Tell your Reeves, tell your female fighters, get eyes on this person and have a conversation with him. Call this fucker out, because shit's not going to change until we start advocating for ourselves. Which is similar advice that I'm going to say is, who's here has been fucking shrugged or said their shit's light when it ain't. Right, dude? That is fucking bullshit. And it happens so goddamn often. It's, yes?
I was raising my hand for that. But were you there for that one event with the one guy who was flat out saying he wasn't going to take shots from girls?
No, but I feel like I would have whooped his ass.
No, there was
Oh man, dick
Was it that-
shots
wait,
all
was it
day,
that
baby.
guy?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
that
that
happened
guy
recently.
with that thing, and it was with Big Cat.
Yeah, and you know
Oh,
what?
that shit.
That got brought up
He
to
shrunk
our
her
discipline
shit,
board, and
said
that
he wasn't-
motherfucker got set down. But you have to communicate that. If Big Cat hadn't said shit, we wouldn't know that happened. You know
and
what I
then
mean?
we wouldn't have had 6 of us on him beating this shit out.
Okay, so Big Cat told the rest of these girls, like, yo, this dude, do you hear him? And they made a girl gang and like forced him to fight them. It was amazing.
It was true.
It was so
We all
good.
went straight for his ass.
Yeah, thank you. That's what you do. You have to get together with your community. That's why I wanted us to kind of like introduce each other, be friends, get your girl gang together, communicate with your Reeves.
I love a good girl.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
I'm starting to learn in Amp there is a LGBT support group in almost every chapter that I've
Out
seen.
fierce.
And in the 2 that I'm in for sure, and I'm sure it works in all the rest of them, if you're having an issue with someone who's misogynistic, they actually will get involved on that as well. So go find out who that group is and talk to them if you have someone who's misogynistic on the field.
And not to throw anyone's biz out there, but kind of piggybacking on something you said in one of our other conversations, women are women. If you don't feel that way, that's cool. That's on you. You're wrong. But fucking women are women. I don't care about anything else. You are accepted here. More, like, as much as anyone else. I just want you to know.
Thank
I
you.
fucking love you guys. Like, apparently we had a Valkyrie day at Ragnarok, and one of the women there was trans, and some fucking dudes were like, you can't fight in this part of the battle. Which is fucking bullshit, dude.
Ew.
Which I don't understand because they never say that shit to me. But maybe that's because I'm as big as they are.
You know, like, you're gonna put them in the dirt, right? Just throwing it out there. If you hear some of that, let's be advocates for our fellow female fighters. You know, I'm sure you guys are, but just throwing that into the consciousness, into the ether.
Yeah.
All right, something else I want to discuss real quick. It doesn't happen in Amp as much, but if you go out to other cross games, I want you to be aware of how to deal with it. Shield bashes. Sometimes dudes wants to fucking plant you on your ass because they were like, oh, this little girl. All right, this is what I'm gonna show you how to do with this. Alana, perfect. Yeah, all right. So remember how I've been talking about all them 45s? I'm real big on them 45s. If you're coming at me, we're gonna matador off at one of these angles. For me, I'm gonna go towards this shield side. So if you're coming at me, I'm coming off that 45, and I'm gonna push her. And while I'm pushing her on her weak side so often, she's gonna start stumbling and fall. But yeah, shit you not. It's been beautiful. I've been like, all right, come at me, take that step, and make it work.
If y'all don't believe this, we do this all the time.
I know, you just always try. It's cool. So yeah, that is the way you deal with that particular situation. But also, don't feel like you have to do that. If you're feeling like you're going to get injured by something, there's nothing wrong with fucking just dipping. You have to advocate for your fucking safety as well. There's nothing fucking wrong with that.
I don't see shield bashing as much. Like, I see it, but what I want to know is how you can tell someone's about to shield bash. Because when it starts happening, I'm like, oh, fuck. And I just kind of like bear down. But I want to be able to practice that. So but also to identify it before it starts happening. So how can you tell by someone's stance that they're about to do it?
Honestly,
I know it sounds silly, but
I shield bash all the time. And
Please,
I'll tell you,
yeah.
when I'm going to shield bash you when we're in close like this, I'm going to bring my sword back in, and bring the shield up and step forward.
Okay.
And I'm going to be looking at you in the eye because that's actually our rule for shield bashing is you have to have eye contact.
You can't be bashing people from behind because that's a fucking dick move. You're gonna hurt people.
But
Yeah.
if they pull back and come forward, you can expect that's probably what it's going to be.
But yeah, and it's one of those things you're also just gonna have to get a little bit of flight time on there, girlfriend. But maybe get one of your larger male compatriots and be like, all right, just come at me, bro. Come at me. And
Something
practice.
that I've seen a lot of people that do shield bash is that I don't see their sword anymore.
Yeah.
So as long as if I see their sword, I know I'm okay. But as soon as they hide it, because they don't want to break their sword, that's when you want to start working on your battle awareness. Like, hey, that guy, I don't see any kind of weapon except his shield.
Yeah.
He's going to use his shield to do something. I don't know what it is. It might be blocking for a friend, or it could be attacking me.
Yeah.
A lot of games have specific rules for shield bashes. Like, I know you play DAG.
Yeah.
So if you're not wearing armor and they are wearing armor, totally illegal.
You're
If you're down on the ground, no one's supposed to do it. I've been shield bashed from behind as I was on the ground,
Huh.
and it was no bueno.
Totally illegal in every game that I know of.
Yeah, that's
Very
bullshit.
illegal. So
It's not in Valve. At least not the backing is, but if I'm legged and I'm here and you're coming to bash me and you're front right here, you can totally.
Interesting. Okay.
That,
I feel like that's a dick move. Not that it's illegal, but like you
it's
gonna hyperset
dangerous.
someone's
But
knees.
there's also like a high standard to it. So like 5. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the.
No, that's
footsteps.
okay. I
But
wanna
there's
hear
there's a
experience.
step. Like you have to have a certain amount of steps. You can only do it. And you can only do it in a certain vicinity
okay.
of them. So it's
someone's not like charging at you across the field like, I got you.
Yeah.
that actually,
Down.
that could be equivalent to our shield press,
Yeah, exactly. That's,
which is much
I
less
feel
force.
a little bit better about that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we do both shield bashing and checking.
Absolutely. That's why I wanted
And
to
I love it. So
bring that
I
up.
was like-
Dude, shield's my second favorite weapon. Shit you not. Just,
Up until 2 weeks ago, I have been shield bashed a total of 2 times, and then I got a tower shield, and everyone shield bashes me now.
Because I'm sorry, girl, but you're a big
tower
target.
shield.
You do, I mean, you do you.
Yeah, no, I need to learn how not to get my ass run the fuck over and get spanked literally in pitch fight.
You could just like cut it down so it's like more maneuverable, but it's not a complete tower.
Well,
A
no,
long
the
kite,
catch
if you
is when you have a big ass shield, people are just gonna run you the
I'm
fuck
sorry,
over.
sweetheart. I think
So
that comes
need
with the
to practice
territory.
that.
I mean, there's no.
That's what comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, it does. I just need to learn how to get better at defending it.
That's cool. Move it.
Matador
Don't
that
be there.
shit.
That's
Movement.
the best block is don't be there. Shit you not. Something else I want to bring us, at least for me, this was a problem when I first started, was being aggressive on the field. When I first started, I kind of just would post up and I would wait too long to engage my opponent. And by then I was already killed. And the thing is, honestly, I know that we as women aren't often socialized to be as aggressive and to be as like fighty as most of the men out there. So it's something we have to just get into the mental game of. So if you're feeling anxious, my favorite recommendation is fake that shit till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Just go out there with a mean mug and be like, I'm gonna slay that guy. And honestly, just your demeanor really changes the way that they approach you. Because if they come at you and you look nervous, if you don't look like you know what you're doing, I mean, unfortunately, you look like a target. Don't look like a target. You can be fucking screaming inside. That's okay, dude. But you gotta fake it. On your face, you gotta be like, don't you come here. Or come at me. Just something else I want to
had
throw
luck
at you.
when I was newer with like different combos. Like I was super like shy about throwing shots until I started fighting with the pole. And then I
Got a
was
little bit of
aggressive
range.
across the fucking board once I like clicked over and figured it out.
I'm glad. Hell yeah.
Flail was my pole arm for that. Once I got aggressive with flail.
Yes, I want to.
Well, you should be posting your information like on the SKBC Facebook page or something so we can look you up.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm in a completely different game. I've never met you before.
Hey, I would like to be your friend. I will post on there, dude. Fuck yeah, let's be internet buddies.
Yay!
Another question back there. I got you next.
Will the notes be up too?
Would you like that?
Yes.
Okay, I can make a PDF, girlfriends. Absolutely. Yeah, dude. Please, and teach your fellow females.
Can you make a silly GIF so it goes with the photos? Because
You know what? All right,
Typing
Bear.
only goes
Okay.
so far.
My next project, that sounds like a really good idea. We will make slow motion GIFs of all of these shots.
That is a good idea.
That's a fucking good idea. Hey, I appreciate you and your use of the information available to us. Any other comments, questions? Yo, please.
Where are you gonna post it?
Would you like me to post it to the SKBC page, the event page?
On Facebook?
Yeah. Sure. Would that work?
Yeah.
So does somebody else have a question? I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm like the only sword and board fighter in my area. Like with everybody else identifies as male, so it's kind of like whatever, fine. But
That's fucking cute.
cool.
Nah, dude. Shield Maiden, Army of One.
Woo! There's others, but they never practice, so they're not real. They don't exist. They don't!
Dude, encourage them!
Yeah.
Maybe they're scared!
You don't understand.
No, this is,
how.
look,
They
I just want to
they
believe. I want to believe. But it's not your problem. I got you, though.
It's not. So I was wondering, I'd like to have some support with other people. Like, is there information to, like, reach out? Because I've asked my community over there, and the guys are like, I don't fucking know where y'all go fight. So is
I
there
do know
a-
that every game has
From
its
Ohio.
own women's group. So, for example, I think Amcard has House Lioness, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I know Dagger here has House Valorose, and I believe Bellegarth has the Valkyries as well.
Valkyries are the yeah.
All right, cool. So
Okay.
that would be maybe a good place to start and ask. That's where we gather online, my friend, on Facebook.
Okay.
Does Darkon have one?
We should. Just
We need
should
one.
bring that back.
We should, but we also have the Warrior Women's Fighting Group, and I don't see why we couldn't have people from across the country on it.
No, absolutely. I don't see why not. These are excellent points. There was another hand up. Yes.
So I just wanted to add on to the aggression thing.
Yeah, dude.
Because,
Please.
Little backstory. In high school, I played lunch football. I had some sexist coaches who didn't want me on the team, so I played with all the football guys at lunch. So I used to play all the time with them and loved it.
yeah.
Was a
Fuck yeah.
receiver,
Yeah,
tackle,
dude, that's fucking cool.
all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And then when I got into college, I missed it. I missed the aggression. I missed the getting it out. So when I found Belle, I fell right back in love with it. I was like, here we go.
Dude, I'm so glad.
And so there's a couple of friends in California, and one of them's name is Ace. And she and me do this thing right before we get on the field sometimes to hype each other up, to get each other. So we're like, we'll sit there and we'll be like, you're a badass, Ace. You're a badass. Yes! She'll look at me with that face. And she'll be like, no, Kira, you're a badass.
Oh, I fucking love
And
this person.
And it's, I know it's a
soul
little
sister.
childish, but it's like, it just, for us, it gets us pumped up and it makes us like, yes,
Dude, it
we've
makes
got each other,
affirmations.
yes. And
Yo.
then we go out on the field and we go. You
The
know what I
boys
mean?
do it in the locker room. They
I-
just don't admit it.
Yeah.
I can actually tell you, the first time I met her on the field was like my second event. I'm big, she's little, and this was before red contacts
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Come at me.
But I come at her and she gives me this look like, I'm fixing to fucking kill you, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. I want to go fight this big dude over here.
Dude,
You're fucking intimidating as shit.
not to suck my own dick or nothing, but like, yo, mean mug goes a long way. Just throw it out there.
man.
Well, and I feel like supporting and hyping each other up and being there, because I hate to say this, but the guys, they look down on us. They look
They
down
do,
a lot of
absolutely. A
them.
lot of the times they
They
do.
see us as the weaker of the two, and they
Second
think,
tier fucking fighters,
Yeah.
which is fucking false.
and it's bullshit. You don't ever let them say that. No.
No,
And
you kick
I,
their
for
ass.
one, I'm like, I'm not gonna put up with that bullshit. No. So I encourage myself and I encourage others, and I'm like, no, you're gonna fight, and you're gonna fight with your aggression. You're gonna make them know. You're not gonna look down on me today, or ever.
I like
so, yeah. Just thought I put that up there.
No, I appreciate your hype. Your hype gets me hype. Thank you.
Question over here.
Yes.
What do you recommend we do when we deal with someone who plays in a way we feel is unsafe and we vocalize it and then they say it is your fault for the way you play? Because I get that a lot. Because I'm really short, right? So a lot of shots people throw, I've had people throw shots backwards, hit me in the face.
What?
It's like a prominent male fighter in our community. So like he just yelled at me until I cried and left.
Alright.
Like true story.
Honestly, that is fucking bullshit, and I'm sorry you had to deal with that. One of those things is, like I said, call this fucker out. I don't care. No. Like, really, do you have no other community? Like, tell the fucking Reeves. I don't care how up the fucking chain he is. He's not being a safe fighter. He's not fucking respecting you as an equal on that goddamn field.
Everybody. Reeves have seen this.
Are you serious? Alright, who the fuck do I... Like, we need to, like, go beat this dude up. That's bullshit.
Like an administrative aspect to your game, like a board of directors?
Kind of. It's complicated. Anyway, I won't like.
Because that's where you should be.
Right.
That's something I have to deal with, is being on the board of directors.
Okay.
To deal with it.
Okay, so you don't. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
For the record, if you can't call him out, honestly, I want you to get him in trouble. I want you to call him out. But at the end of the day, if you feel you are not being
Yeah.
if you're not safe, if you feel like someone's going to injure you,
Yeah.
don't fight him. You've got nothing to fucking lose. Like in the pit of my gut, I'm like, why fucking let this dude like have the upper hand? But if no one is advocating for you, if you're a fucking army of one out there, live to fight another day. One day you're gonna come back and you're gonna whoop his ass. Yes.
Yeah, I got tired of being hit in the head, and so I got a lacrosse helmet, and I wear a lacrosse helmet all the time when I fight.
Oh no! Hey, when you get the lacrosse helmet out, do they give you shit like, why you gotta wear that? We're fighting fair. They don't.
They better not.
No, the people in our area are really good.
That's good. I bring out my face shield because it's like get hit, and you know when people get tired, they start hitting at the face. They don't mean to. I'm like, cool guys, I'll be right back. I come back, they're like, really, you're gonna wear that? I'm like.
Accidents happen.
Yes, I am.
I think we're all used to getting hit in the face a little bit more often than not.
In face stab height. That's where I am. I'm
Exactly. Face stab height.
Don't block with your face. Stop throwing shots at my face.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's bad for both of us, I guess.
Well, if you have to footwork and you're moving, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, don't.
So wear a helmet.
I have ducked into two-handed swords before.
I
It happens.
rely not only on my supportive women fighters, but the majority of male fighters won't put up with that.
Right.
So are you not able to go to any of your realm or community to be able to get that support? Like any of them?
I got some
Come
pretty good
at it
brothers,
with a
you
more
know?
aggressive energy then.
Yeah, if your park won't support you, go to the kingdom.
Do it again when it's fresh.
I've been quote unquote investigated like 3 or 4 times for having a poor attitude. For
Excuse?
these things,
What?
for being like this person is
Girl.
violent.
Right?
Introduce me to some people that will not take that shit.
Straight up.
You know, Alex tries.
Straight up, dude. Like, that is inappropriate and absolutely not cool.
It's really
And
awful.
the fact that you don't have anybody is ridiculous. I have had guys straight up like some dude pull shit on me, and then like a guy from next to me or nearby that saw the incident will be like, knock the fuck on.
Which
like,
is
for
awesome, you
real.
know? Like, we have really good brothers out there. I'm not talking shit on, like, there's good men out there.
And there's both. There's great women and great guys, but there's also bad women and bad guys.
And
so,
I'm sorry.
That's kind of you. I'm just hoping to get better so that I don't have to worry about it as much. Because if I'm better, then I block better and I fight better.
That's like I said. They're gonna treat you like shit someday. You coming back? Road trip.
Oh, road
trip.
Oh, pile in a bus and go.
Yeah, that'd be really dope. Honestly, a bus full of all of us.
You said, right?
Girl trip.
I have girlfriends in Canada. Let's go.
So yeah, is there any other thoughts? Any questions? Anything we want to like talk about? Girl, talk.
So I have a friend that does DAG. She gets really frustrated because she's not good right out the gate, because a lot of the male fighters that step up have some like experience with different sports where they've practiced this and they have some. And she's like, I'm just shit. And I've tried to talk her up and try to get her out there. What do you recommend for that? Because I've really tried a lot of different things. I mean, it's just me and her, and she doesn't come to practice. So I'm like, I don't know how to make you get good if you're not going to go and get knocked
I
on
get
your
where she's
ass.
coming from, man. I really do, because like, especially when you're one of the only ladies in your room, sometimes it can be you can be your own worst enemy. You know, you can be like, I feel anxious, or I don't feel like I have the ability to fail. But you gotta not be scared to fuck up and fail to learn. That's the only way. It's the truth. And you can do all your best to encourage her, which it sounds like you're doing, but you can't make her. You can't force her. Just keep being you, man. Keep being encouraging if you can. Yeah, girl.
I'm sorry. I'm totally not trying to talk.
I don't fuck, dude. This is what this is about. Shut up. Or don't shut up.
So I do have this one thing I do, and it embarrasses me every time I do it. I go out in the field, and if something out of my control happens, for instance, if somebody really reams me hard, like with the red, like 12-6 right over my head, and just smacks me upside one, I can like feel my self-consciousness just drop. You know what I mean? Like I just feel shitty, and like. And half the time it is nothing but a continuous battle for me to feel confident on the field with it. And like get myself back into that hype, get myself back into that mode.
I got this.
It's difficult to feel comfortable and confident when I'm like in those scenarios where something, like usually it's out of my control completely, just happens to me. And it just sucks.
It happens on
so
the field,
like I don't know. I don't know how to like help with that other than to just keep telling myself to get back out there and get on
That's
that
all
horse.
you can do.
But
Don't fucking quit, man. I mean, I know it
I'm
sucks
never
because I've
gonna
been there.
quit.
Been like,
Are you kidding? I love this shit.
I'm not worried about you. I'm just saying, like, don't despair.
Yeah.
We'll go around. I got you. I get that a lot because I'm like the only one. I told you, I used to do this in college. I'm the only one of my cohort now. Like all of my friends all my girlfriends. They're like, that's cool you do that. I got kids, and I'm like, well, I'd like to have kids, and that happens, but I'm still gonna fight. Like this is part of family.
You can do that.
They really like get themselves psyched out and everything.
Yeah.
They just don't come out. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. I mean, part of it is I just keep going out there and having a great attitude, and the more the negative, the more positive. Because then I have, we work with youth, and you get like, little 12-year-old girls who the guys are out, out there and they're discovering that, oh, I can do this thing, and so they'll pick on them.
That's
they'll treat
empowering.
them wrong and stuff, and I'm like, no, you got this. You don't have to take this. This is a safe space for you too. We enforce honor and everything, and we have this little tiny little twiggy girl that I'm working with. I'm like, no, she's like, I'm so tiny compared to them. She's like, I can't do it. They're all getting really big. I'm like, look, they can't hit you. You are so skinny.
Exactly. You use your size to your advantage, girlfriend.
You run, you do this, you do this. You don't have to be afraid of them. And just, what I have to do with them is just, I have to constantly be affirming them and hyping up the whole time. And like, the more they're coming negative, the more I have to come positive over and over. And still, sometimes they don't come back, but
You're doing all you can. That's fucking awesome. I love your encouragement, girl.
It's hard though because
Yes.
Oh,
This one.
going back to what you were saying, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Gidget, it's fine. Nobody will remember it. We have a million names. It's fine.
So,
We will.
for your friend, like something that helped me, like I'm still really new, but something that helped me feel more comfortable getting out in front of people was pelling at home. If I was comfortable throwing the shot and didn't feel like I was going to look stupid doing the shot in general, then I felt better doing it around other people.
That makes a lot of sense.
That
absolutely.
helped me anyway to build my confidence. I was in my space, and there was nobody else to judge me while I figured it out.
Yeah.
And then once I figured it out, I could go out with friends and felt better.
What is pelling?
Oh, Pell is like a torso-y thing, or unless I'm
No,
wrong.
no, absolutely.
You practice shots on something that's like a human torso. It's,
Oh, okay.
So
A
it can, and
mannequin
it,
works well.
Yeah.
can I interject? So it can be anything from like a tree to
Yeah.
like
I'll
a
post in your
literal
basement.
plank of wood, like a 2x4 with a thing across it. And so like what we have is literally like a square with like a wood stick thing with a cross, and it's got like a whole like little rope dangly thing on it, and you just practice your shots on it, and it literally you can square up with it. You can- yeah. And it's usually shoulder height, so it works that way.
Have anything like intervals? I don't know.
They do. So we just started doing it. We took it from y'all at Amp-Guard because we weren't doing intervals. They were just doing battles, and a lot of the guys that are good, they practice on the torso-y thing.
Yeah, I have a bobbin. That shit's dope.
And so I'm like, they're like, yeah, so they're already good. I'm not at the level that they're at. We're doing basics, and they're like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, I'm not here yet. I need to do this.
Got you.
So I wanted to be able to practice the things that are our advantages, and because we're also facing people that are different body sizes than us, shield bashing, all of this. I want to practice. They're not practicing the things I want to practice. It sounds like.
Yeah, I've been there too. Yeah, sometimes they don't really at these groups. They just go in and fight, and you have to kind of like osmosis, or sometimes guys will take the guys' side. But
I want to learn.
Find your learning space. I guess you got to make it yourself. Carve it. You build it, they will come.
Learning space. Is anybody here interested in like practicing these later today?
Dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
No, I want to sling snakes as long as you guys do.
I'd like to.
When everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Because.
Sorry, no, I didn't want to cut you off. She's been holding up her handful.
I believe it.
No, dude, I got you.
I was just going to say, and this is something you'll know, just because if I go to practice every Tuesdays, and I feel like as a woman that I basically need to fight like twice as hard to keep up with the guys to try to prove myself that I belong, to the point that like recently I had an injury and I'm just like leaving there and all I can think of on the way home is like, everybody's just fucking laughing at me because I can't fucking shake it.
And you can attest to this because she doesn't necessarily believe me. Nobody laughed at her for leaving that night.
You know,
I just feel bad that you got injured and you had to
No,
get out.
that night I left early and I'm like fucking dragging my leg out of there because my fucking left leg got wrecked.
It's
that
rough.
Just happened to Vinny the other day, and he left early.
I feel like
that just happened to him.
So I feel like we as female fighters need to understand and just keep in mind, because we do get in this mindset where we feel like,
why the fuck are we so anxious? God damn it.
It's because we are the only ones.
No, I know. I respect it. I feel it myself. I'm just like, why?
But it's hard. It's easy to get in this mindset because you are the minority, and yeah, we know that we need to not to do that.
you can't help but feel it sometimes.
You do.
Feel
I
the
feel
shit
like
out
I'm
of your feelings.
carrying
I feel like everything I
all
do
of the
gets
female fighters, and when the
criticized
new
twice
ones
as
show
hard.
up, I'm like, don't fucking worry about
Shut that
it. They
voice
always
up,
leave.
girl.
They've been leaving.
You gotta believe in you like Conley believes in Kanye.
It's
Yes!
not
Yes!
It's not even just a woman thing. I got news for you. I feel the same way about being old.
Yes.
The exact same thing that we feel as being women fighters.
I'm
I feel
slowly
for being
getting there.
old.
Don't feel like you have to push yourself extra hard when you're not ready to go somewhere, because that's how you get injured.
Yeah, and that's what happened, because I was like, I'm gonna skip practice today because my left leg is still recovering from Bellum, and I was like, no, you know what, I'm gonna go to practice. And then one person kicks me in the shield right into my leg, and I'm just like, nope,
Shield kick.
nope, nope.
Who the fuck is shield kicking?
In a practice, I mean,
In our
Is that
game,
a thing?
in our game,
Oh,
it's
fuck that.
it's actually
No.
you cute.
it's called shield kicking, but it's a shield press. You have one foot
Sure it is.
planted,
And you
push.
Alana, man.
You're not supposed to
Yeah.
be snap kicking no fucking shield. I don't
push.
care what game
You
you play.
don't-
That's bullshit. You plant.
That
Plant
motherfucker
and
better be
push.
wearing a cup.
Yes.
Straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it was a legal thing.
That's
in my
terrible.
opinion, it is more respectful and more respectable that you not only care for yourself and, like, you know, keep yourself healthy. Because I hate to tell you this, ladies, we're gonna eventually get older. It's not gonna. We're not
Never
gonna
happening.
We have to be able to tell them, hey, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be okay and healthy and safe and decent.
I want to be
For
doing this
when-
until the day I die.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be fighting until I'm at least 102, ladies. I don't know about you all, but I'm not getting up. I'm not giving up. So the fact is that if they ever push you around, you tell them, "Frack you, dude!" Like straight up, you have a right to be healthy and happy and decent, and you also are more respectable for just straight up standing up for yourself and being like, "No,
And don't
I'm
be so
gonna
hard on
take a
yourself.
break."
Absolutely.
Yeah, do not be hard on yourself because, dude, that's gonna be the killer. You know what I mean? That's what's really gonna destroy us in these sports. Is we're gonna end up saying, "Oh, we can't do this. We're not good enough. We're never gonna compete," and we're gonna destroy ourselves. When the truth is, we're just as good, if not in some cases better.
Absolutely.
Than the majority of it,
Fuck
you
that
know?
glass ceiling. There was a question. Yes.
Actually, a comment on that note. Make sure you do proper safety gear. It's really easy. Like, I know, for example,
Gloves. If I didn't mention it before,
Yes.
never fight without gloves.
I was showing Gidget earlier. Whenever I bought these and I shared, hey, I bought cross gloves to protect my hands. Somebody commented, oh, gloves are for pussies. I'm like, fuck you.
Gloves are for people who like having their fingers.
In our first year of fighting, my wife actually broke her thumb in 2 places because they took a two-handed hit as a block.
Just remember, this
It
is
happens.
a game. Take care of yourself. Whatever their opinions don't pay your bills. Their opinions are not going to take care of you when your body's wrecked.
Yeah.
That's legit.
And the best fighters out there, they're still just dorks with sticks too. They're just really good dorks with sticks.
And you will be too.
The best fighters out there.
There's always going to be somebody better than you. There's always going to be somebody that's not better than you.
Or
You gotta keep it in mind.
Like gets a really good shot and you're like, wow, okay. No shame.
The best fighters know to take the time to get better, to heal your wounds, to keep yourself healthy and decent.
You
And
guys
when
are at
you come
SKBC.
back-
You guys fucking are on the path.
Oh, by the way, these are rollerball gloves. I
Roller
believe?
derby
Yeah, I
gloves.
love these things. And then these things.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys.
Yo, I like that hard
You
shot
want-
on the outside.
Yeah, you want to do some serious, like on the ground, just
Where'd you
shield
get
work,
'em?
just going
Those
at
look
it.
dope. Yeah, where'd you get them?
Love these. I actually had a friend gift them to me because they were
From
like,
Amazon, all right.
you are an aggressive fighter and you play Bell and you have shitty knee pads. Here, and they gifted them to me for like a Christmas, and I was like, thank you. But they like straight up were like, you need these because you're doing a lot of knee work and you're not like.
Cool.
I need at the very least a left knee pad now.
But they're
For
the
that fucking
killer
tower.
187
yourself.
pads. So.
Well, we're gonna add to that.
So, safety equipment, helmet-wise, does anybody have any good advice for that? Because I have just a face shield, but I get hit in the head a lot, and it's kind of annoying. But
That's why I got
I want to
these.
see peripheral. Well, yeah, my
She
head.
has a. She just went inside.
She says it doesn't affect her vision, but
What was it? Was it a lacrosse helmet?
It's a lacrosse helmet.
Yeah, I've got a lacrosse helmet.
Lacrosse helmet, I believe.
Oh, it'll match my blood.
And you know the best thing
Dude, thank you. All right, cool.
Can I put this on for a minute?
everybody.
You know, the best thing is, since we usually have smaller heads too, we can buy them.
The you!
From the kids section.
And on that note, the class has ended, and I believe lunch is starting soon. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Warrior Women. If you guys want a sling stick later,